Welcome back to Mark Holbit's Vlog, everyone. Thanks for joining in on this absolutely glorious kind of morning like that. Obviously, the sun's, well, it's not quite shining, but you know what? It's shining in our world, right? Because, you know what? We look at things like, you know, the glass is half full, or, you know, basically in a positive light today. Today's a good day, and really, that's the only way to look at things. There's so much negative around the planet right now. It doesn't matter. You can't stop this positivity. We're on a roll today. Life's good, and honestly, you know, it's all about making the most of every single day. But that's not the topic. The topic today, I kind of want to dive into something I've been thinking about again a little bit. You know, we're all about, you know, driving those great cars, fun cars, or traveling, or spending time with family and friends. And those of you who've been on, you know, on my community page on Exotic Car Play Place, you've probably seen a lot of it isn't just geared around cars. It's about some of the personal experiences and the people and the friends and the family, and it's really about enjoying life and making the most of all of it, being positive and just enjoying everything that gets thrown your way. So it's a good situation, and I can't really complain, honestly. I really do appreciate all of you that are joining in every single week. The engagement's up, life's great. So I do want to talk about something a little more specific today, and I think what I'm talking about is how important some of these priorities are for you. How much does it really mean to, you know, I don't know, to travel with your, you know, to make those, spend the money, I guess, travel, spend the money to buy those cars. And again, we don't all have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars, but the point is, a lot of this stuff does unfortunately cost money. There's almost nothing in this life that is free anymore, other than, you know, a great friendship, a quiet walk with your, you know, with your better half, you know, as the sun goes down, or kicking a soccer ball in the field with your kids. Those are amazing moments, and those are probably the most important things in life. Second to that are those things that we enjoy, those other hobbies. Again, you know, driving those fun cars and living that type of experience, unfortunately, costs money. And so the thing I want to talk about there is, how important is it? And how do you prioritize? Because I'd like to hear everybody's thoughts on how you prioritize making that stuff happen. I mean, there's a lot of great, interesting people, and everybody that pipes up on this channel has a story. They all have their story. You know, what do they do, and what do they do? What do you guys all do right now? I mean, most people work to gain, you know, like, you have to live, work, and go to that grind, go to the job every single day, pay for that, you know, the roof over your head, pay for food for your mouth, you know, pay for, you know, those toys and those vacations. But sometimes we all know that cost of living is climbing, and it has for forever. I mean, if you look back decades ago, I mean, you could get way more for your money than you could today. Sure, you didn't get paid as much, but the actual multiplier, or the comparison, the cost, the ratio between your cost of, you know, the earnings versus the cost of living, it was much worse today than it was back in the day. And you could actually get a lot more going on back in, you know, say 40 years ago, 30 years ago. It was a lot different place than it is today. So it kind of opens up the question about, how do you make those opportunities today, when all we know is we're like surrounded by this constant barrage of cost increases, taxation, inflation. Every time you turn, somebody wants another dime out of your pocket. The big cheeses down in federal offices all want to create and invent new taxes to just squeeze every ounce of dollar out of your pocket. And then just when you had enough and you're racing on your way to get home to see your wife or kids, and then some yo-yo pulls you over because you did 5 kilometers and over the speed limit. Now you got to go spend $180 to, you know, pay the piper to pay for that, you know, speeding ticket, which, yeah, I mean, you got to pay the fine, I guess. But all I'm saying is, the point is, there's always somebody there waiting to grab that last dollar out of your pocket. And so how do you make these other priorities a priority? How do you get to the point where you're saying, you know what, I want that new F-Type, I want that 911, I want that new Ferrari, or, you know, because again, they are wants, but it is the living that lifestyle. And so living the lifestyle sometimes means there's compromises, adjustments, we have to dig in a little harder and dig in our heels to try to earn some of that. How do you guys all do that? I'd like to hear in the comment section below, because a lot of times, you know, you get in jobs, you go to school, you get your career carved out, and you go down that path. And while there are some people, and I've met some really interesting people lately that, you know, are making millions per year, even working in a corporate environment because they happen to be top of the pop food chain. And when you're making $5 million, $10 million a year, you have potentially some free cash. But I would say that's a very, very, very small part of the population. So how do you, if, you know, for most of us are making moderate, meager incomes, how do you actually make it happen? How do you generate enough capital or earnings to buy that Jag? I mean, are you cutting back on other things? Are you saying, you know what, I'm going to compromise. Well, I'm not going to travel for 5 years because I need to put the money aside. The kids are going to starve. Maybe, you know, that university degree is going to have to go on hold. Or maybe you make enough money in your day job that you have that extra expenditure that it means nothing, and you can drop it down on a check and head into the dealer and just write that check and sail out the door. Everybody's got their own story. But if you find yourself in the day-to-day and you're not even living from check to check, because that's not a fair statement, because in some capacity, most people live from check to check anyhow. Even if you're, you know, 3 months ahead and you have a small savings and you're able to put a little extra in the bank every month, you're still kind of check to check. Because, I mean, I've met people that have gone a hard way. They've wound up with some, you know, bad illness, chronic problems, and then they haven't worked for 2-3 years. You're not in a good place, unfortunately. Nobody's in a good place when they're in that environment. So in some essence, we're all in some capacity check to check. Nobody's got a fully, or very few people have fully passive incomes that allow them to take a step back for a significant period of time. So the bottom line is, what I'll say is, how do you make it happen? I mean, your day-to-day grind, your day-to-day job, that's probably paying for the food. That's probably paying for your roof, and if we're lucky, paying for utilities. And even if we're more lucky, we're able to, you know, pay for that once-a-year vacation. But I'd like to hear more of your guys' storylines about how you're making this happen. Like, honestly, you know, I've learned that often it's the side hustle. So, you know, I mean, a lot of you guys know probably where I come from, what my storyline is. You know, I'm running a side hustle, but I'm doing it for different reasons a little bit, as well as kind of the reasons are just to top up. I mean, a lot of people run a side hustle, maybe do a basement business, or, you know, an online business of some sort, or maybe, you know, they go work, do some side jobs. Maybe they're a tradesperson and they find an opportunity to work some side jobs on the weekends, take their tools home, and are able to make that extra, generate that extra money to save up. So after 5 or 10 years, they've got enough to go buy that car or that toy. I don't know. Everybody's got a storyline. I mean, whether you're running a YouTube operation and you're able to generate money there, and I know a lot of people making substantial cash from YouTube and social media. There's a lot of opportunities there these days. But the point of the matter is, are you prioritizing? Is it your daily income that's eating into your fun, your frivolous expenditures, your toys, your cars, your travel? Or are you having to run a side hustle? And I'd love to hear what your guys' ideas are. Do you have a side hustle? I'd really love to hear it. Something that's kind of intriguing. And I'd like to hear some detail if you've got something on that. Because I mean, we're all looking for those opportunities. And it's sad that we're in a place now that we have to do that. Because, again, 50 years ago, you could probably have a decent job and you're able to do all those extra things. But today, without doing a side hustle, most people who aren't in that 1.5% probably aren't able to go out and buy a new Ferrari. That's just the way life goes, unfortunately. So, love to hear it, everybody. It's a beautiful, glorious day today. Morning's wonderful. I just love to hear from each and every one of you. Please drop a line in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Channel's been growing. Don't forget to share it with your friends and family. Remember, because this channel is really about prioritizing and living the life and all of that, and just making it real. Because really, we're here for a short time, not a long time, and we're here, let's make it all good. So hope to see each and every one of you on the next one. We'll talk to you all real soon. Bye-bye.